Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of What Do You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. Today's guest, she has bags of charisma, spicy attitude, and a heavy hitting style. Please give it up for the view. I don't know why I did that symbol right there. Zizi, how you doing today, Zizi? You all good?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Cannot
Good,
complain.
good.
Been quite a busy week with the podcast, but in general, it's all good. I mean, I could probably go on about my life story, but no one wants to hear that. I think the listeners want to hear about you
Aw,
and your wrestling career and what you got lined up next weekend. I actually want to go into detail about that because you've got a big match, Colosseum Pro Wrestling. Shout out to them. I'll be there in attendance and might be timekeeper. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but you are facing off against Lucy Lee. Before I talk
Yeah.
about that specific match, I actually want to talk about your debut for Colosseum Pro Wrestling. Ronnie Knox had her on yesterday, actually. Really cool
Oh,
lady.
yeah.
But I want to hear from you. I know you didn't get the victory, but I want to know about your overall experiences and your debut for Colosseum.
Listen, I have nothing to say about my debut. It was a fast count. I shouldn't have lost. I don't like Ronnie Knox. I want to beat her up again. That's all I have to say.
Fair enough, fair enough. Fighting words, I like it. Anything can happen in the podcast. If the next match happens, I want that clip used in the build-up.
Yeah, it will be. And I'll beat her fair and square, like I was supposed to last time. That was a
You were pretty dominant in the match. The match is out
mm-hmm.
there if anyone wants to check it out.
Always.
This interview, but unfortunately, at the end, Ronnie did get the victory. Did catch you off guard, but
Mm-hmm.
if you two do happen to wrestle each other again, I feel you're just gonna have a lot more anger, and you'll do anything to.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Listen, I'd never wrestled Ronnie Knox before that show. This was the first time. Now I know her so much better. I know her
Mhm.
tricks. And yeah, I'm not going to lose again. It's not going to happen.
Fair enough, fine words. But I want to talk about the upcoming match then, the one I just previously mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy Lee. It's on Saturday, July 15th. Tell me about that. What can the fans in attendance expect? And what can your opponent expect?
Listen, okay. So I wrestled Lucia Lee one time before.
Mhm.
It wasn't too long ago actually, and she got the better of me. But every single match, I improve more and more. She thinks she's going to go in and know exactly what I'm going to do, but she has absolutely no idea. What's going to happen is what should have happened on my debut. I'll beat her 1, 2, 3. That's all I have to say.
Very confident you are. But from what I've seen
100%.
from your
Well,
style and your matches, I can fully understand why you are confident in what you do in the ring. Really solid style, kind of like a female bruiserweight. That makes sense.
yeah, yeah. I like to do a little bit of everything. And
Definitely.
I'm a lot bigger than most of the girls on the scene, which I think is a huge advantage.
Hmm.
I'm not like super heavyweight either. Like I'm agile. I can do it all. So yeah.
That's
Lucy
the
Lee's
beginning.
gonna
You can do everything, and I think that's a massive advantage to you. Before I do talk about your current pro wrestling career, I actually want to rewind the clocks a little bit and discover what actually made you a wrestling fan.
okay. I feel like I've not really got like the classic story because I didn't actually get into wrestling till I was about 14, 15
Yeah.
when I watched I used to like love jujitsu and like combat sports, and I used
Mhm.
to do jujitsu when I was younger. But so I was watching some stuff on YouTube, and then this random like WWE match popped up, and I'd never seen WWE, never seen like wrestling. I had no idea what it was.
Really? What? Never even seen
Uh,
like advertised or like a poster or
Never,
something.
nope,
Yeah.
never heard of it. Like I guess I like grew up in a little town. It was quite closed off from other things. My
Yeah.
family didn't ever watch it, so I just never was exposed to it. There wasn't really wrestling shows that came close to where I was. Um, but yeah, I watched it. It was like a 6 woman tag. I think SummerSlam 2016,
Oh,
and
Bella Twins, Alicia Fox. It's where I become a full nerd, like with my memory.
I think it was Nikki Bella's return actually. So it was like
Oh
Becky
no, sorry, that's
Lynch.
2015. I'm thinking of 2016. Nikki Bella's first match. Carmella. I'm gonna have to Google that one, even though I can't remember that
Yeah,
much.
I think it was Carmella, Naomi, Becky Lynch versus
Alexa Bliss.
mm, Alexa Bliss,
Yes.
Natalia, and Nikki Bella. And I remember like the first person that came out was Naomi, and I didn't know what to expect. Like I saw WWE or like wrestling or something, and I was like expecting like a bunch of like big, like beefy women in singlets to come out and beat each other up. So when like all the lights went down and like Naomi started coming out dancing, I was like, oh, is this like they have like a kind of like dancing act, like just to like get the crowd going before the wrestlers come out.
Oh, a little
And then
dance.
yeah, and then Carmella came out and she was like moonwalking, and I was like, yeah, like this is cool. And I didn't think that they were the wrestlers. And then Becky came out, and I was like, oh, I get it. Like they've all got these different characters and stuff like that. And I was like, this is so cool. And then they started wrestling, and I was like, this is wild. And then I like watched another wrestling match. I think it was like Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey or something like that. And then more and more and more, and I just got addicted. And I watched like all like Total Divas, all of that stuff. I loved like women's wrestling.
I had a soft spot for Davis, to be honest. I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons. I'm not even gonna pretend I didn't.
I love it. And then I was like, damn, like I've got to do this. And so I was like Googling like wrestling schools, and I saw like House of Pain in Nottingham. I've got a t-shirt on at the moment, actually. Yeah, and so I started training like literally a few months after I started started watching wrestling. So I didn't really know much about it. I just like the characters and stuff. And so it wasn't until I started training that I really started to like fall in love with wrestling as a whole. And yeah, I haven't stopped since. So
just gonna backtrack a little bit. When you did decide that you're gonna do this, train, become a professional wrestler, for those around you, like your family and friends, what was their initial reaction? Because, as you said, you didn't grow up a wrestling fan. Then you discovered like SummerSlam in 2016, and then Total Divas and stuff like that. But when you said, "I'm actually going to do this," what was their, first reaction to it?
Well, I didn't really tell much of like my extended family about it until I started to like really get into it. Like I think my mum had maybe mentioned it, but I didn't really like talking about it because like a lot of people that aren't wrestling fans don't really understand wrestling and don't get why it would be entertaining. So I've got to a point with some people where I'm like, you know what? We just don't need to talk about it. I love doing what I'm doing. You don't get it. And we'll just leave it at that. But now they're a lot more supportive and they love it. But my parents, I think, because I was 15 when I started, I couldn't drive, and Nottingham was like just over an hour away. And so my mum and dad would take me every week.
Oh, fair play. That's
and yeah. It was, I appreciate them so much for that. And I think they just thought it was going to be something that I would like try out, and then like I'll do it for a few months and give it up, because I feel like there was a couple things that I did as a kid that I like stuck with, but most things I would like become really passionate about something, and then like 4 months later I'll be like, no, I'm not interested in this anymore.
Like a phase, like she'll grow out of it, but let's let her do it, so she can't say we didn't let her do it.
Exactly. And yeah, I never stopped, and then I moved to Nottingham, and now this is my life pretty much. So
literally like up and down the country. I actually want to talk about your debut though. So you talk about we train and stuff, but what was the first match that you had? Like, what was the venue? When was it? And how do you think it went overall?
Okay, it was a tag match, mixed tag team match, in a little church called St. Anne's in Nottingham, and it's like the venue that all the new House of Pain wrestlers debut at. And so it's like, it's quite small, but it fits like maybe 100 people in it, and it's always packed out for debut day. They've always got a great crowd. Like I absolutely love that show. I've not done it I did do it actually a couple months ago, but I'll very rarely go back. They run the show every month. But how did my debut go? I think it was like, it wasn't terrible, but I don't think anybody's debut match like is the best. Like I've always struggled as a wrestler with like my voice and kind of finding confidence. Like I guess like quite a shy person, or I used to be, not so much anymore. So I was quite quiet in that match. And I just, everyone that was like giving me feedback was like, you need to find your voice. Like when you find your voice, you're gonna be great. And so it's been a process, but like I'm getting.
But it wasn't gonna happen overnight, which is
no, absolutely not, absolutely not. But it has started. It did start happening like quite soon. And I was thinking to myself when they kept saying that, I was like, I just don't know how to make noise. Like it's never gonna happen. But it did happen. So I
gotta say, like judging by some of the matches I've seen you have, whether you're a babyface or a heel, Like it's still quite loud in terms of like if you want the fans to cheer you, you love it. If you want them to boo you, you'll make sure they boo you.
Yeah.
For what I've seen. Um, I think you actually did mention Ivy. You two make a great tag team, but you wrestle each other multiple times. I want to know what's she like as a tag team partner and what's she like as an opponent as well.
Um, as an opponent, I hate her because she knows me so well at this point
Yeah.
that she knows everything I'm gonna do. Um, and then as a tag team partner, they're some of my favorite matches that I have when I tag with her. I haven't tagged with her that much actually, but I think like she just brings something out of me. Like she's so loud and
Mhm.
so obnoxious and just fun to like play around with. And like she's my best friend. So like being able to do it with your best mate, it's always more fun.
You bring the best out of each other as well as the thing, and you trust each other to sort of want to try new things as well, whether you're
Yeah,
teaming each
100%.
other or in the ring with each other as well. And it creates that chemistry that just can't be faked.
Yeah, absolutely. I wrestle her pretty much every weekend at this point. Like in new promotions,
Yeah.
in House of Pain. It doesn't matter. For some reason, I'm always wrestling Ivy, but I'm not going to complain about it. Like I always have a great time with her. So
Nah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. One match that I watched of yours that really stood out, and I thought you absolutely tore it, was a match against Millie McKenzie.
at
Uh,
Elevation,
yeah, for the Elevation Women's Championship, I thought was brilliant.
yeah.
Fans
Oh,
were,
thank you.
but I want to know just like your thoughts on the match, how you think it went, and just wrestling with someone who's been, she's been around for quite a long time now.
Um, I love that match.
Mm.
I love it because it was at Christmas and we had Santa involved,
Santa,
and it was a good time.
Santa helped me win the
Um,
match. Who gets to say that
yeah,
not wrestling?
so exactly. And then there was the after the match, like after there was a clip where Millie dressed up as Santa
Mm.
and speared my manager out of his boot, literally out of his shoes. Like the shoes went flying and hit the ceiling. It was great. Um, I really enjoyed that match. Like I went into it so nervous because I'd wrestled Millie once in a fatal four way at Elevation
Hmm.
where she won the belt. Um, and so this was like my first singles match, and I'd heard of her before. Like I started wrestling, and then obviously as I'm a trainee, and you see all this stuff Millie McKenzie's doing and like WWE and stuff like this. So going into it, I was very nervous, but no, I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that match.
The fans did. I did. I thought it was tremendous. I'd like to see that match like it happen again. I thought it was really
Yeah,
good stuff. Because you're still pretty like quite young, aren't you? And you're still early in your career. So I think this would be
yeah.
quite an interesting question. Who in the women's wrestling scene right now, it doesn't necessarily have to be UK, but no,
Mm-hmm.
a wrestler that you haven't wrestled, that you've got your eye on at the moment that you think, yeah, I really want to get in the ring with her. Or even like them or him or anyone. Because I know you've done intergender wrestling as well. So just anyone that's
Yeah.
catching your eye that you think, okay, this can happen, get me in the ring with them.
Mm, anyone over the world, like anyone. Okay.
Anyone, honestly, you're the guest. You can pick anyone you want. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have specifically one person, but just a few names.
I think Billy Starks definitely stands out.
Yeah.
She's absolutely killing it everywhere at the moment. I know she's coming to the UK a bit as well. And like, I want to wrestle people that are like my age
Mm.
because I like, and seeing her because she's, I think, what, 18 or something like that.
I think she has just turned 18. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's on TV already. It's mental.
Yeah. Crazy. So like, I'm 19, so we're quite similar ages. So yeah, her definitely. I'm trying to think. You put me on the spot now.
My bad.
No, you're all good. You're all good. I want to wrestle Kanji. Like
Yeah.
I've trained with Kanji. She's from Nottingham as well. But I've never been in a match with her, so I'd love to wrestle her. I
That's a
think
match
those are
that
my
can
two.
realistically happen and it can happen anytime, I reckon.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know. Hopefully. Um, who else? Trying to think if there's any of my friends that I just never get to wrestle or anything. I don't know. I'd have to think about it more. I want to wrestle everyone, literally everybody, but those two especially.
But you've been going up and down the country. what about
Yeah.
outside the country? Not necessarily promotions, but locations and countries. Is there anywhere that you really want to go within the next few years and wrestle? I know you might be a good answer saying everywhere, but like I think when I asked wrestlers, they were like Japan, or is there anywhere
Yeah.
you really want to wrestle?
I'd love to go to Japan, but I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people say that. I actually went to train in America a couple months ago
Oh no.
in Las Vegas, but the way it timed, like there wasn't any time to get onto any shows. I went to see one show, I think. So I'd love to go back there and
Hmm.
like wrestle there properly instead of just training. I absolutely loved the experience I had. But yes, I want to go back there to Vegas. Um, and then just anywhere in Europe. I absolutely love Europe. I love going and visiting the cities. I know like when you're out there on shows, you don't really get that
Yeah,
much time to
not as easy. Yeah.
experience stuff, but I love traveling. So yeah, I guess that's like the three main places.
That's pretty cool. I just wanted to go back to the America thing.
Mhm.
You know, when you went to train there, was it a specific school or like under like, a
Yes.
seminar?
Yeah, Future Stars of Wrestling
Mhm.
in Las Vegas. Fantastic school. I was only there for about 2 weeks, but I learned so much. It's a completely different
Yeah,
like
I was
style
gonna
over
ask.
there. It's so different. Um, they focus like so much more on things over there that maybe are minute in the UK.
Mhm.
So I think like both schools that I've like train at are just as good but in different ways, and
Yeah.
so getting that experience and also the networking, because I went over there by myself. I didn't know anybody there apart from D'Lo Brown, who introduced me to the guys of my
Shout
first
out to
day.
D'Lo Brown, legend.
Yeah, name drop. But uh yeah, he introduced me on the first day, and then everything else was left to me to just like network and stuff like that. And that's always been one of my biggest fears in wrestling, is like going up and shaking hands and saying
Mm.
hello to people. So I was just like completely out of my comfort zone, but it was a great experience.
Is that still a thing, by the way? Like backstage with wrestlers, always like if you don't know someone introducing yourself, always shaking hands.
Yeah, a pretty big thing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's like,
but
I
mandatory.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't say it's mandatory. Like if somebody's like, people are always busy doing their own thing, but
Yeah.
if I go in, I will try and shake everybody's hand and say hello to people that I see.
No, that's
I
cool.
think it's still,
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're all good. Handshake or a hug, like
Yeah.
it's still quite normal. Yeah.
No, I just thought I'd ask because I remember like that used to be quite a big thing like wrestling sort of back in the days, and I just didn't know if it was still a thing now. But it's out of
No.
respect, isn't it? Everyone's just nice to say hi, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Got a fun question to ask you. You can make this wrestling related if you want to, but
Okay.
I feel like this could be quite a fun question. It allows the guest to relax a little bit as well. So it's three dream dinner guests for your dream party. You're the host, dead or alive, fiction, non-fiction. It could be about wrestling, music, whatever. Three people. I want a quick reason as to why you want them there as well. But you're the host. Go.
Oh, it's
Ah,
gonna be wrestlers because that's all I
that
like.
is absolutely fine. It could be about wrestling.
Okay. William Regal, because he's
Nice.
my favorite wrestler of all time, and I would love to just pick his brain for a little bit.
He's so
Like
cool.
so much knowledge. Oh my goodness. Bull Nakano,
Good,
because
good answer. No one has said that one.
yeah, she's also one of my favorite wrestlers. I think
Yeah.
she's so badass. Like and her style and her look and everything was so
Mm.
different to what everyone else
So
was
ahead of
doing
her
at that
time,
time.
in
Yeah,
my
so ahead
opinion.
of her time. I love her. Number three. Hmm. Bayley. I
Which
love
version of
Bayley.
Bayley?
Um,
Hugger Bayley or Karen Bayley?
Karen Bayley. She's so entertaining, and like everything she does in the ring is so smooth. Like she's great. I think her characters, she's got it down to a T, and it's
Mm.
incredible.
She might be probably my favourite out of the four horsewomen, in my opinion. Just
Yeah,
overall and all around, I just think she excels at everything. While the others might
yeah,
flaw or two at other things. Bayley's so cool.
yeah,
Hugger Bayley, I've
yeah.
been with a lot.
I'm such a big. I actually saw her like a few months ago, but in real life, and then but I was too shy to go and say hello.
Where
So
was this? Oh, as if you didn't say
so
hello.
Yeah, I know. No, I didn't want to bother her. Like I was in Birmingham for WWE
Yeah,
and we were just walking around. I just turned up, was trying to find a toilet, walking around, like walk past this hotel and there's a bunch of fans past this hotel. And I was like, why are all these fans out the side of the hotel? And then we realized it must be like the talent hotel. Walked a
yeah.
bit further, saw a cafe. I was like, oh, this is great. I can grab a coffee. There's a toilet. Went in, Bailey's just sat there, um, drinking a cappuccino or something. And then I like froze because so I had a Bayley t-shirt on, but I had my jumper over the top.
Ah,
And I was like, I was so glad I didn't have my t-shirt out because I was like, I don't want to look like a total nerd and I don't want to look like I've just come in here to like stalk her because it was a total coincidence.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
But she's not
so
going to really know that. I think she'd be quite cool anyway because no, she just seems like down to earth.
yeah,
But
I
from
just feel
coming where
like
you're from, yeah, I understand.
yeah, I just like when they've probably been on a really long flight, like she's
Yeah.
there by herself just trying to enjoy a coffee. I'm not going to bother
Mm,
anyone. Um, and I was ordering takeout, but then my friend ordered to sit in.
hmm
And I was like, we can't sit in right now.
Paige
so
is like, do
so
you want the picture or not?
so we ended up sitting in, and where we sat, like I was sat like opposite Bayley a little bit, and I was looking at my friend, and then like my eyes were just like going back and forth, and I was like, oh my god, this is like my favorite wrestler right
I want
now.
to do it. I want to do it.
Um,
I want to do it. Yeah.
yeah, and then she walked out, and I was like, nah, it's fine. I'm just gonna leave it. Like
I do
she's
respect that though. And I do find it bonkers, by the way, how these fans find out the wrestlers' hotels, their airports.
yeah,
And it's just bonkers. Like, how do you find
it's
out this information?
I don't know, but yeah, ours was completely
Oh,
coincidental.
big time. Like, I've never
Yeah.
had that luck. Never really, even going to shows and stuff, never really had the opportunity to bump into any wrestlers. I'm like, oh, right. But I mean, I always do like meet and greets and stuff. And, you know,
Hmm.
I've always been quite lucky with that sort of thing. But in terms of like just having a coffee, oh, yeah, look, it's William Regal. Like, I'd probably be like, Regal.
My yeah, I would have to go talk to Willie Regal, I
I
think.
would.
I don't think I'd be able to
But
hold myself back.
I did meet him at a show and I was just like, I'm doing this. And my picture's like this, like, the biggest grin ever. But he was really nice. And he even put the villain on the autograph. I'm just like, I love you, William Regal. You're so cool.
Yeah, he's so cool. Everything he does, and it's just I just love good characters. I
Mm.
really do. And I want to be better at character stuff like them.
Your stuff's really good. One thing I do like about your character is your jacket.
Yeah,
How
that's
did
my
that come about? Like, what was the inspiration for that? I think it's really cool and it stands out.
um I can't even remember. Like I like wearing suits and blazers and stuff like that. So I got this blazer and then I was like, oh, I kind of should put my name on it.
Mhm.
But I was like, it's just a red blazer. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? And then I don't know where I'd got the idea. I think I was still in school actually. I was still in high school. And my friend had bought these strip lights and put them round. And then I saw them and I was like, I wonder if I could put those on a jacket. And so I did it. The first time and because I did it, yeah, I did it all myself. The first time I did it, it
Oh, you
broke.
did it yourself. Oh, fair play.
Yeah, I do everything like my gear, me and my mum make and stuff like that.
That's
So
class. That is class.
yeah. But so I was like hand sewing around all the strip lights,
Yeah.
and then it broke halfway through, and I was so upset, and so I had to redo the whole thing, and now it's like breaking again. Like it's been so worn, and I don't look after it enough. I just shove it in my bag. So I need to get a new jacket, but that's I didn't realize it would become such a signature.
hmm
But it kind of is like my entire personality is just the jacket with lights at this point, which I'm not sorry about because it's a
It
cool
works.
jacket.
It does work.
Yeah,
Not
it
just
does.
like on
Yeah.
social media, but like your entrance and how you, it's how you embrace it as well, and how you like your swagger as well. Like when you walk into the ring, just like I can't do your entrance. I'm not going to attempt it.
No, do it. Come
I'm,
on.
God. If I do see the show next week, now I'm just gonna be like, no.
I'm gonna find you. You have
Um,
to let me know where you're sat.
I don't even know. I'm sitting yet. To be fair, I'm actually going up there early, but I don't know what I'm actually going to be doing. Was actually invited to commentate first, but I think the original guy's doing it now. Can't remember the name. I
Oh,
do
okay.
apologize because I think he will be listening to this. So I actually don't know, but I'm looking forward to the show because I think it's gonna be brilliant. Been keeping an eye on it and contacts with the talent as well. And London, July 15th. If anyone hasn't got anything else to do, and is a wrestling fan in the area, I think there's still a few tickets left. You can check them out.
Hmm.
Colosseum Pro Wrestling.
It's a great show.
Get to see
It's a great
Zizi as
show.
well, and she's pretty much guaranteed she's not going to lose, and she's going to entertain the fans there as well,
Always.
which is awesome. Awesome. So, is there anything you like to promote? Anything you want to say as we're now at the end of the interview?
No, everything that I would like to say you've just said. Come to Colosseum. There's still some tickets remaining. It's going to be a great show. You get to see my face, which is always good news. And yeah,
And
that's
maybe a
all I
new
have to say.
jacket as well. And maybe a new jacket.
Well, I don't have enough time for it. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else?
That's my Apple Watch, sorry.
Great way to end it. I was really confused then. Because I'm definitely one here. I had to like turn then.
Yes.
Awesome. No, Zizi, thank you for coming on. If the fans want to keep up to date with what you've got lined up for the rest of the year, how can they find you on social media?
Z to the power 2 on Twitter and Instagram. ZI to the power 2. It confuses a lot of people, but it's just like a nerdy maths thing. So, but yeah, that's it.
I absolutely suck at maths, so I'm not even going to ask what the meaning is.
It's just like, so I used to love maths. I know we've already finished, but I'm going to just continue.
No, go for it.
Yeah, maths was my thing in school because I'm just a massive nerd.
Yeah.
And so like one of my friends always used to call me Z squared at House of Pain because it's like Z times Z and you just put it together. So, and I tried to do Z squared as my username, but I couldn't. So it's like to the power 2 is just a different way of saying it. So it's just Z times Z.
Nice. I'm a nerd, but I'm like an unintelligent nerd. Like a bit on the slow side.
Surely not. Absolutely not.
I still read Biff and Chip. Like I'm a bit different.
No.
No, I'm joking. I'll send the fans your way. Looking forward to seeing you live next week. It's gonna be awesome. Great weekend.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you too.
Thank you. Yeah, just if I do come across an idiot, that's just who I am. But no, thank you for your time. I know you did 2 shows yesterday, so it does mean a lot to take your time out your diary to make time for this interview. And it's been a good chat as well. I hope you have a great weekend. For the listeners out there, I hope you all have a great weekend and a great week as well. I'll be back sometime midweek, and you can keep up to date with what I've got planned and lined up through my social media handles in the description below as well. That will be awesome. Like this video, subscribe, follow Zizi on her social media handles as well. But for now, everyone, take care.
See ya.
Hello there. I've got a special announcement for my next guest.
Hi, I'm Zizi, and I will be appearing on What Do You Call It podcast.
You heard.